In today's video, I'm going to cover why AI, despite having a knowledge cutoff, understands and knows about recent events. My name is Kenneth Chiba, and I've implemented AI and AI systems into 35 plus businesses over the last 2 years. So understanding how AI works and where it can go wrong has been super important to me, and so that's why I'm going to try to show you that same thing. So to start off, on its own, AI doesn't actually know anything about current events. This is because AI has only been trained to a specific date. This is known as the knowledge cutoff date. For some of the newer models, this date is a little bit newer. For example, for Claude's Opus 4.8, the stated knowledge cutoff date was January of 2026. However, some of the older models have even older knowledge cutoff dates, so it's important to know what the model you're using's knowledge cutoff date is before you assume that it knows information about something. Now you might be wondering, okay, well then how does AI know what today's date is or what today's weather is or about news and current events? Well, this is because most chat interface-based AI platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Grok have a feature called web search. The web search tool allows AI to search for and read real web pages just like you would. You can try testing this feature by literally asking, hey, please search up what the most recent news events were, and you can usually see a little search icon appear or something along the lines of searching the web or using web search tool. That being said, the reason I'm bringing this detail up is because knowing the actual current events and having a tool that can give you access to knowing the current events are two completely different things. Web search is a tool that AI has. It's like giving it a button that it can press to search the internet. The problem is it doesn't always press the button. This can mean that a lot of the times when AI gives you an answer about something like a current event, it doesn't always search for what is current or what the newest information is, but instead just makes its best guess based on the data it was trained on or what it thinks is correct. This can be especially important if you're asking for things like technical steps or manuals about how to use a piece of software or maybe a specific product or item, because that might refer to older documentation or older manuals of information and end up giving you the wrong piece of advice. I've personally experienced this a lot when I ask for advice on how to navigate a specific piece of software, but it's been updated since its knowledge cutoff date. So the next natural question might be, when does AI tend to skip searching and use its memory instead? The honest answer is most of the time, especially as a conversation with AI gets longer and longer. This is really important to know because despite not knowing the current information, AI will still confidently answer your question as if it is right. So the takeaway here is pretty simple. If you ever ask a question where more up-to-date information could change the answer, it's a good idea to make sure that it searches the web by explicitly asking it to. Because if you don't, and I'm sure if you've used AI before, you may have experienced this, it'll confidently give you an answer that was outdated or is 6 to 12 months old. Here's the one thing I want you to do so you actually learn something by changing your behavior rather than just watching another piece of AI educational content to entertain yourself. The next time you ask AI a question that requires up-to-date information, whether that's the temperature, today's news, anything like that, that requires any kind of information that may have changed in the last 6 months or since whatever model you're using was trained on, tell it to explicitly search the internet using the web search tool. I mentioned this in other videos, but the use case I have for this that I use all the time is whenever I'm asking for technical steps of how to navigate a specific software or a platform. For example, Meta Ads Manager. That platform notoriously changes its user interface every couple of weeks, and so saying specifically to use the web search tool to search the internet for the most up-to-date steps is something that is super important to me. So for anything like Meta Ads Manager or other platforms or specific information sources that might change constantly, you ask AI to search the internet. If you want this guide, as well as every other guide in text format, I actually have a link to my website in the description that basically gives you the link as well as the text guide for every single one of the AI Basic Course videos. So you can go ahead and grab that in the description, and hopefully this helps, and I'll see you in the next one.